After marathon arguments in the top court in the Sushant Singh Rajput death case, Supreme Court has decided to reserve its order. All parties in the case have been given a 2-day time to submit their written notes by day after tomorrow. Sushant's family has demanded a CBI probe and has gone on to accuse the Maharashtra government and the police thereof of several lapses in the probe. The centre in its argument has also called the affidavit filed by the Maharashtra government misleading, demanding a free and fair probe. Meanwhile, Riya Chakrabarti has toed expectedly the line that has been taken by Maharashtra government in the top court opposing CBI probe. I'm joined by my colleagues Nalini Sharma, our legal correspondent, executive editor Abhishek Kapoor and senior editor Prakash Singh. Let's first go across to Nalini for the highlights. The headlines out of the hearings that have taken place today. The centre coming in and saying that there is a problem with the Maharashtra government's affidavit was one big, event that took place earlier today. And otherwise also it was quite a bit of fireworks, isn't it, today?
Well, absolutely, Shivani, and nothing short of fireworks in the Supreme Court, not only from the centre side, but also from the Bihar government as well as the Maharashtra government. We've heard some stunning arguments come forth before the Supreme Court today. But yes, like you correctly pointed out, the central government has pointed out several problems that were there with the Maharashtra affidavit, while also going on to say, and this is coming directly from the Solicitor General, where he says that there is no investigation at all in this case that is actually being conducted by the Mumbai police. Now, the reasons for saying that, Solicitor General has relied on the meaning of investigation itself, which is defined under the Criminal Procedure Code, where he goes on to say that under the legal definition of investigation, there is no investigation that is happening on the Mumbai police's side, essentially because there is no FIR that has been filed in this case. And even after the post-mortem report, the final post-mortem report was brought out on the 25th of June, the only thing that the Mumbai police has done is record statements of 56 people, as they claim. In fact, the Solicitor General has gone on to say that even in the sealed cover report which has been filed by the Maharashtra government, these are not details of the investigation, much rather an unauthorized recording of statements that was done by the Maharashtra police. So a very strong attack coming in from the centre, while the Bihar government has also alleged
on this. This is really the crux of the matter that we're discussing today, because there is no investigation that the Mumbai police is conducting. In such a circumstance, Abhishek, how can they oppose an investigation being carried out after an FIR was registered by the family in Patna and then was transferred to the CBI? Because they're not conducting a parallel investigation. Everybody's questioning as to what they have been doing for 2 months.
Well, 3 or 4 things come out of today's proceedings, Shivani, and I believe they would have a bearing on the judgment that would come from the top court, a single bench court. Now, the thing is that the Maharashtra government says that they are okay with the CBI inquiry, but then a certain procedure should have been followed. Bihar government should have first transferred it to Mumbai police, and then with the consent of the Maharashtra government, it should have gone to the CBI, if at all. So that is one, which means that prima facie there is no problem with the CBI investigation is something that can be concluded. Number two, the counsel for the family has made some very serious charges, one of which is that Riya obstructed any communication between father and son, and two, that if there is abetment to suicide case which the Mumbai police is pushing, if it turns to murder, then the same person who is accused of abetment to suicide becomes accused of murder also. So that was one very interesting legal argument that I could pick up. From the side of the centre, another very important argument that is going to have bearing on the judgment is that Solicitor General Tushar Mehta got up and said that Maharashtra is accusing Bihar of politicizing and political pressure on Bihar police. Bihar is accusing Maharashtra or Mumbai police of working under political pressure. That by itself is reason enough for the case to be transferred to the CBI. So in all probability, Bihar wanting CBI probe, Maharashtra saying only procedure should be followed, and the centre saying let there be a CBI probe, clearly suggests that there can be easy unanimity so far as the verdict is concerned that Sushant Singh Rajput case should be given to the CBI.
Swapnil Kothari, Priyanka Tibrewal, Rizwan Siddiqui, all lawyers joining us on the show. Let me first go across to Rizwan. The Maharashtra government hasn't really come out smelling of roses. Let's just accept at least that much. As far as this entire case is concerned, just a few basic things. The fact that What they've been doing for 2 months is unclear. They haven't registered an FIR. Why is their probe going on for so long if it is just a suicide according to them? Secondly, Disha case also, they're now reinvestigating it after virtually closing it after 2 months under Republic TV and media pressure. So all of this has not really sent a message of accountability and reliability. That also is the central point here. The family itself is not very satisfied with whatever they've been doing.
If you allow me, I will just discuss on points of law and why exactly we are in this situation. See, the first most important point is, the FIR which was registered by Mumbai police was not to do with Riya Chakrabarti at all. It was only to do with the suicide case. And they were investigating the matter on the grounds that this is a case of suicide. Then we got to know much later that Sushant Singh's father is accusing Riya Chakrabarti of playing some fraud and for some financial transactions, and the case was registered in Bihar on the ground that there is some financial fraud and other frauds, and therefore the Bihar police started arguing the matter. Meaning they took the FIR, and their argument was that jurisdiction of Bihar police is also there because something ensued in Bihar. That is what I heard right now, that this is the argument being made before the Supreme Court. But if you look at the chapter 12 and 13 of the Criminal Procedure Code, Bihar police would not have any jurisdiction of the matter, and if Sushant Singh's father did not have, if he did not trust Bombay police, he could have made an application to the Bombay High Court asking for a CBI probe directly. And this is a procedure of law. Unfortunately, Bombay High Court has not been touched at all. There is no application made before Bombay High Court in the form of a writ. And the FIR which was filed by Bihar police.
So you're also, Rizwan, making the technical argument that Maharashtra is making, that if at all it had to go to the CBI, there was a procedure to be followed. Yeah. I'm sure the Supreme Court will look into that.
Right.
No, but I want to focus on, the problem with the probe itself, because that's central.
Yeah, I'm coming to that.
The public watching is wondering, what is really happening when so many mysterious, suspicious circumstances exist, when the family had approached the police 4 months before Sushant was found dead. Why is it that Mumbai police never really proceeded in that direction? Yeah. But to that, let's go across to Swapnil Kothari as well. Okay. Certainly, the Supreme Court also has raised doubts in the way, the manner in which this so-called investigation has progressed, along with the fact that Riya Chakrabarti had earlier wanted a CBI probe, but is now opposing it.
Yes, Shivani. In fact, I'm very happy that the Supreme Court has reserved its order, because it's definitely giving 2 days time to file the final written submission. So it's going to, record all the submissions of all the parties and eventually going to probably come to a conclusion that let it go to the CBI. Because Hrishikesh Roy, in fact, indicated, in one of the questions that what is your problem if it goes to the CBI? So, that it clearly tells the minds of the judge, and that immediately weakened the stance of the Maharashtra, of Riya's lawyer there, who said that, let there be a free and fair probe. So indirectly he was saying that, okay, I've lost all my arguments and now let it go. So, the probe has not been conducted. There has not been an investigation into Disha Salian's case at all. In fact, the word reinvestigation was wrong because it only pursuant to the Republic Heat that the investigation into Disha Salian's case started. So the Supreme Court is fully aware of all these things. It has taken all the arguments on record. To giving 3 days time first to, come with all the arguments, which is today, and then now giving 2 days clearly indicates that in which direction this case is heading. So it's definitely going to go to the CBI. There is no doubt about it in my mind, at least, unless, I'm very happy that this has taken place. And
in fact, Swapnil, you're quite right. Let me also bring in both Prakash, our senior editor, and Priyanka. Let's go to Priyanka first up. Priyanka, the argument whether CBI should probe this case, I think it is well made. And even Maharashtra police and Riya's counsel is unable to really counter that. So the modality that remains is perhaps only the technicality in this case. But I think what is emerging very well is that things have not gone on well under Mumbai police as far as investigation is concerned. And because there are so much, there are so many political allegations that have come in, perhaps the only way to handle this is with a CBI probe. Priyanka.
This after what we have heard that what has been submitted by Mr. Tushar Mehta at the court today, he has very clearly made out that Bombay doesn't mind because of so much of political conflict Bombay also wants that the investigation should have been handled in a fair manner. So that means Bombay doesn't mind CBI, Maharashtra doesn't mind CBI taking over it. Bihar has also handed over the investigation already to CBI. So, and first of all, the petitioner who's here, her 90% grievance is already solved because firstly, she had admitted that she wants that CBI should take up this matter. So it is very picture clear that all the three parties in the matter, they are agreeing to the CBI. So now the question or doubt of CBI taking over the matter is not much. But what I feel, what we will get more from this judgment is, see, from the very first day when we were speaking about the jurisdiction point of view from the FIR which was there in Bihar, I mean, Mr. Rizwan was still mentioning that it is a zero FIR, but I do not consider it to be a zero FIR. Why I tell you? Because the sections in the FIR, you see, wrongful confinement, restraint, breach to trust, all the sections, be it 342, 340, see, these are all which are having or impacting the complainant somehow. And where is the complainant residing? The complainant is residing in Bihar. So I am once again saying that although this is also very clear that in our law, in our criminal subject, it is not clearly stated. But this judgment will create a precedent, and our criminal jurisprudence, it will be mentioned that something new, a concept of something new will come soon from this judgment. This is what is coming to my mind. I feel that we should expect this from the judgment.
Okay, Priyanka, let me just also quickly go back across to Abhishek as we try to get Prakash online as well. So Abhishek, 2 days further time has been given for all parties to submit their written submissions. And after that, the court could well pronounce its order in this case. As Priyanka is suggesting, it could well set a precedent.
Well, Shivani, you know, there are n number of precedents so far as Supreme Court directly giving a case to CBI is concerned. So that's not something which should have been an issue. And that's why perhaps...
in terms of jurisdiction, can the case be investigated where the complainant is based, even if the so-called crime has taken place somewhere else?
No, I was coming to that exactly, Shivani. The Bihar FIR has all the columns, but the column which says place of crime, that is left blank. So what can happen is that given the fact that the Maharashtra government has also said that if procedures are followed, maybe the case can be given to CBI. They are not saying no. They have Riya Chakrabarti's tweet also, you know, as a matter of record. So what can happen is that since the Bihar government has already given the case to CBI, what the Supreme Court can do is that, as I said, there are precedents of Supreme Court actually transferring cases to CBI despite not having consent from respective concerned state governments. The fact that Maharashtra government has said, okay, fine, if the procedure is followed, the Supreme Court can say that let the process be followed. First, the FIR be turned into zero FIR so that the blank column can be filled, and then the FIR can be taken over by the CBI. So that is, in all likelihood, a solution that could come out by way of the verdict, which would satisfy all the parties. As I said, Maharashtra government process would be followed, and Bihar, their request for CBI inquiry would be there. And as I said, Center has already said, given the political argument that was pushed by both the sides, that Mumbai police and Bihar police both are under some kind of political pressure from their respective state governments. That is the reason why it should be given to the CBI. So what I mean to say is that all the arguments taken together actually lead us towards a CBI investigation and nothing else.